Curious what the cost of insurance is for your small business? Thinking of starting a business and want to estimate the cost of insurance? Want to compare your cost against the average and see if your premiums are competitive? Hi, I'm Gordon Coyle, and in this video, I'm going to talk about small business insurance costs, how to get covered, and what the best options are in the marketplace coming right up. Okay, before I start, can I ask you to do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button so it signals to YouTube that this is good content and other business owners can find it? Thanks. All right, small business insurance, costs, how to get it, and all the info you need. Let's start with some definitions. What is small business, in my opinion? Small businesses are typically firms with less than 10 employees and less than $2 million in revenue, roughly speaking. Can a small business have 50 employees and $20 million in revenue? Sure, but for the purposes of this discussion, we're going to look at truly smaller companies with fewer than 10 employees. Next, let's start with what we're talking about in terms of coverages for small business. Generally speaking, we're talking about a business owner's policy or a BOP policy, workers' compensation, an umbrella policy, and maybe E&O or professional liability insurance, since so many small firms today offer professional services. Now, let's break it down. Starting with the BOP policy, this is where your general liability and your property insurance coverages will be packaged together with several other coverages to provide you a broad, all-in-one type policy. Typically, the liability limits are either going to be $1 million or $2 million and supplemented with an umbrella policy that we're going to cover in a minute. On the property side of the policy, you can insure your buildings if you own one, your business personal property, also known as contents, as well as your business interruption or business income insurance. The cost of a BOP policy will vary based on several factors. The type of business you're in, for example, a contractor is going to pay more than a doctor's office. The limits of coverage you choose, your revenues and payrolls, which are frequently the rating basis for a policy, where you're located. Geography has an impact on rates. And lastly, your claims history and your experience level. So what does small business insurance cost? Based on what we see on a regular basis for small businesses, the BOP policy is going to cost an average between $1,200 and $3,500 a year. Of course, that will vary based on the factors I mentioned a minute ago, but that's a good estimate range for an office or retail type business. Now, moving on to workers' compensation. Here, the costs are much more straightforward. Premiums for workers' comp are based on these factors. The states you operate in, the type of business you're in will determine what classification codes will be used on your policy, and the class codes then determine the rates, which are then multiplied by your payroll, which then produces a standard premium. There are other variations and factors that go into the cost calculation, but those are the basic rating factors. The average cost of workers' compensation ranges between $800 to $4,000 a year. Now, umbrella liability. Umbrella liability is next on our list, and sometimes this is also called excess liability insurance. They're very similar, but not necessarily the same thing. The pricing for umbrella or excess insurance is based on your BOP and your auto policies if you have one. Roughly speaking, adding $1 million of extra insurance in an umbrella or excess policy will run somewhere between $500 and $1,500 a year. And it's really the best coverage for the dollars you spend. Next up is E&O insurance, and that can be known as E&O, errors and omissions, or professional liability insurance. And it's purchased by any company or firm that provides professional services or provides advice for a fee. Today, you see a lot of companies purchase E&O insurance that are in some sort of consulting business or a technology company. Here, the rates will vary widely from one profession to the next, but on average, the range of premiums we generally see are in the $1,000 to $4,000 ballpark for small business owners. Okay, if you've hung in with me this long, you may be saying, what's the deal? Why can't this guy just tell me how much business insurance is going to cost, and why is he giving such a broad range of premiums? I get your frustration. I often go online looking to find out what something costs. I feel like I'm getting a big runaround when someone won't tell me the price of something. So I know how you're feeling. Let me explain. So you can see there are dozens of factors, sometimes hundreds of factors that go into rating a small business insurance policy. Each type of company and each particular firm will have different profiles that will affect the rate you end up paying for each line of business. That's why I've expressed these numbers in ranges. In fact, it's possible that a small business owner could pay $20,000 or more for just their BOP policy. And that leads me to my next point. How do you make an educated decision or find out what the real costs are? Well, in my opinion, that's going to take a conversation. Now, I realize that many people aren't crazy about picking up the phone to talk to a salesperson, let alone an insurance salesperson. In fact, most buyers like you are probably about 80% of their way through their buying journey before they do pick up the phone or email a seller looking for help. It's the way we do things today. As a buyer, we want to be in control. We want to know what we're buying, what we can expect to pay, and what we can expect the process to look like. And that's great. But at some point, you will need to engage a seller. So let's jump into the next step of the process. How do you go about getting small business insurance? And what's the best way to know you're getting a good deal? You can buy small business insurance through three main channels, which I'm going to describe. Now, I'm going to be transparent here and say that I'll be as objective as I can, but please realize that I'm an insurance broker, so I have a built-in bias here. But stick with me. Let's start by saying that your business insurance is what stands between you and potential claims which can negatively impact your business and your future, from a mild disruption to a devastating bankruptcy. So you want to make sure you get this right and protect your assets. So the first channel you're going to see a lot online are direct writers and captive insurers. These are insurance companies who sell directly to the public through a call center. The agents in these call centers are employees of the insurance company. The advantage in this channel is speed. For the most part, if your business fits this insurer's profile, they can quickly quote and offer you coverage. The disadvantage is twofold in my mind. You may only be seeing one quote from this channel and you're not getting an advocate working for you in the future. If things go sideways down the road, it's very difficult to ever speak to the same person twice, and as an employee of the insurance company, you know where that call center rep's loyalty lies. The second channel we're going to talk about are what we call insure techs. These are firms that have enabled technology to sell insurance. They generally work in a human-free interaction world. It's very low touch, high tech, and it makes insurance transactions fast, simple, and very straightforward. Fast and simple is the clear advantage in this channel. But in my opinion, that can also be the disadvantage. There's little to no expert interaction to ask you the questions. That leaves the door open to problems, gaps, and missed coverages down the road. In my opinion, fast and simple isn't necessarily the best route, especially as your business grows. The third channel are insurance brokers, like me, who've carved out a niche online and attract buyers who are looking for a higher touch, higher level of expertise experience. The advantage here is that an expert broker can shop various insurers for you and find you the best fit of coverage and price for your needs. The disadvantage is that it might take a little bit longer than a direct writer or an insurtech firm. The trade-offs is a more thorough approach to your protection, a relationship you can count on down the road, and an advocate if things go wrong. Okay, wrapping it up. As you can see, you've got choices, lots of choices when it comes to buying small business insurance. As I've said, getting your protection right is important, really important. Price is a big factor. But should it be the determining factor? Probably not. I think you've got to weigh expertise, advocacy, service after the sale, relationships, and trust when making a decision on who to buy small business insurance from. If you think I'm that type of person, great, I'd love to work with you. Reach out and let's talk about what you need and how we can help you. If you have other questions or concerns that I didn't address in this rather long video, reach out to me as well. My phone number and my email address are coming up, and there's a link in the description box below to book a call on my calendar. I'd love to hear from you. I work across the country, and I really love helping business owners with their risk and insurance issues. So let's chat. Thanks for watching.